Today, we are going to travel to the quiet, wind-battered shores of North Carolina, back to a time when the American continent was not a nation, but a vast, terrifying frontier, a land waiting to swallow dreams whole. We are here to chase a ghost that haunts the birth certificate of the United States, the phantom settlers of Roanoke. Grab your coffee. We are dimming the lights, and we are uncorking the most profound, frustrating, and chilling historical riddle that has persisted for over 4 centuries. The mystery of the lost colony. The story begins in 1587 under the ambitious eye of Queen Elizabeth I. England was desperate to plant a permanent flag in the New World. The venture was led by Governor John White, an artist and respected figure who sailed with 115 souls, men, women, and 17 children to build a new life. They landed not far from where the very first disastrous English attempt at colonization had failed. But this time, it was different. This wasn't a military outpost, it was a community. And here, in a hastily constructed wooden fort surrounded by thick forest and the restless Atlantic, a miracle occurred. Virginia Dare was born. She was the first English child born on American soil, a beautiful symbol of hope, a living promise of the future. The colony, named the City of Raleigh, was meant to be her new world. Yet, within weeks, this hope began to curdle into desperation. The dream of self-sufficiency quickly collapsed. The soil was stubborn, the supplies were dwindling, and the local Native American tribes grew hostile. John White, the governor and grandfather of the infant Virginia Dare, knew they couldn't survive the winter. The settlers pleaded with him to return to England immediately to fetch vital supplies, tools, seeds, medicine, and military protection. White agreed, though not without deep personal anguish. Before he left in late 1587, he established a crucial understanding with the settlers. If they were forced to abandon the Roanoke Island settlement, they were to carve a specific message on a nearby tree or gatepost. If they left in distress or under attack, they were to carve a Maltese cross above the message. He promised to return by the following spring. As he sailed away, gazing back at the tiny wooden palisade and the waving figures, including his own daughter and granddaughter, White believed he would be back within 6 months. He was heartbreakingly wrong. The world had other plans. John White arrived back in England in the midst of a national crisis. The looming threat of the Spanish Armada. Every available ship, sailor, and resource was commandeered by the Crown to defend the British Isles. White's desperate pleas to immediately sail back to the colony were denied. He was blocked, delayed, and forbidden from leaving. 3 agonizing years passed, years spent fighting bureaucracy, war, and the crushing knowledge that 115 people, including his family, were waiting for him across the vast ocean. Finally, in 1590, John White managed to secure passage on a privateering mission that agreed to stop by Roanoke Island. The voyage was long, difficult, and filled with ill omen. As they finally approached the coast on August 18th, 1590, Virginia Dare's third birthday, a storm broke, nearly wrecking their vessels. White was driven by a terrible urgency. He knew, with a certainty that chilled him to the core, that his promise had been broken. The landing party reached the shore in the darkness of the evening. They sounded a trumpet and called out English songs, hoping for an answer. There was none, only the roar of the wind and the cynical sound of the ocean. They pushed through the trees, approaching the fortified village. The gate to the palisade was open, abandoned. Inside, the houses were gone, meticulously dismantled. Everything of value, cannons, heavy supplies was missing, suggesting the departure was planned and executed calmly, not during a hasty flight. This was not a massacre, but where were the people? White found only 2 clues. The first clue was found carved not on a gatepost, but on a large palisade beam near the entrance. In Roman capitals, one single terrifying word, CROATOAN. White's heart must have momentarily leaped with relief. There was no Maltese cross carved above the word. This meant they had not departed in distress. They had moved by choice, or at least without a violent struggle. The word CROATOAN was the name of a nearby island located 50 miles south, home to a friendly Native American tribe. White believed they had sought refuge with the only tribe they trusted. He immediately wanted to sail south, but his crew, impatient and focused on piracy, refused to divert their mission. The weather turned fierce again, and after a final, desperate search of the island, John White was forced back onto the ship, sailing away from the colony, never to return to the New World. He left behind a colony that had simply evaporated. The mystery began. So, what happened to the 115 souls? Over the centuries, 4 main theories have emerged. Theory 1, assimilation. This is the most hopeful theory. The settlers, starving and isolated, traveled to CROATOAN Island and integrated with the Hatteras tribe. Later, accounts from English explorers claimed to have seen blue-eyed Native Americans in the region who spoke archaic English. They simply chose to survive rather than wait for a promise that never came. Theory 2, starvation and disease. Perhaps they did try to move to CROATOAN, but the perilous journey across the swamps and waterways was too much. They died en route from disease or were weakened by starvation, unable to leave any further sign. The careful dismantling of the fort suggests they had time to plan, but perhaps not enough strength to reach safety. Theory 3. The Spanish or Native American attack. Though the absence of the Maltese cross suggests otherwise, some historians believe they were attacked by a hostile tribe or captured by Spanish soldiers who feared English encroachment. However, no mass grave or contemporary Spanish record of a large prisoner group has ever been found. Theory 4. The Occult and the Curse. The most dramatic and enduring theory. The Roanoke region was rumored to be cursed by displaced priests or ancient spirits. The single cryptic word, CROATOAN, has been obsessively studied by occultists. Some believe the word is a magical incantation or a demon's name. This theory captures the enduring horror of the complete, perfect disappearance. To this day, the only hard evidence we possess is that single word carved on a piece of timber. Modern archaeology has discovered a few scattered artifacts, like pieces of slate and European pottery, miles inland from Roanoke Island. These clues suggest that at least a small group of settlers did indeed travel inland, seeking refuge or a new site. But the trail always goes cold. The fate of Virginia Dare, the first child of the New World, and the 115 settlers remains a terrifying silence in history. Were they absorbed? Did they perish in the deep forests? Or did they truly just vanish? The mystery of Roanoke is not just a forgotten historical event. It is the haunting reminder that sometimes, even in the age of science and logic, a perfect vanishing act can defy all reason. Tell us in the comments, do you believe the word CROATOAN was a clear instruction from a confident group, or the last desperate cry of a dying civilization? Keep questioning everything.